To hold my banner. I'm George Bilecki, and for the Travis Thomas, we got you locked in for the latest NBA and Celtics coverage for the next 45 minutes. Sam Hauser signing a big extension as Celtics ownership for now wants to keep their core intact. We'll also recap USA men's basketball scare against South Sudan and what it took for them to come back. Talk WNBA All-Star Weekend, and as you know, as always, Ante is going to quiz me. First time I'm doing this one, the win in 7. 7 questions to guess an NBA player. We got all that and more right here on Hold My Banner. And if you're listening, Spotify, Apple, Amazon Prime, please like, subscribe, rate, and review. If you're watching on Netson's YouTube or Twitch, subscribe as well. Comment below. Bring yourself into the conversation of Hold My Banner. Now we'll bring my man, Ante Campbell, in. As Travis always likes to say, the walking, talking triple-double, the product of LA, the kid out of Fresno and then UTEP, but now calls Boston his home. How we doing today, bro?
Wow, what an intro, George. I love that from you. I'm doing good, man, and I'm still buzzing off a WNBA All-Star Weekend, and that USA men's basketball game, too, had me sweating a little bit, so I can't wait to talk about it.
Dude, both national teams giving us a scare this weekend with what they put out on the floor. But WNBA All-Star Weekend, I love that you bring that up because it was great to see what Arike Ogunbowale did, what Caitlin Clark did, her first professional game without a turnover, and then also seeing CC and Angel Reese both on the same end of the floor, seeing how they played together. It's like, all right. So they don't hate each other. We knew that. Mm-hmm. They're competitors. We love that. And then also glimpses of what we could see when it comes to 2028 and the Olympics. As for the men's side, man, that South Sudan team, you called that one out when we were looking at the rosters going through. You said that team is scared. They got pros. They got guys that played in college. A lot of athleticism. We saw them shock that national team, Tay.
Yeah, we definitely did, and we'll definitely get into it a little bit later. But I want to hear your thoughts about Sam Hauser.
Sam Hauser getting paid, Tay. I'll bring you back into this one after I go in on the Sam Hauser contract. The Celtics with the big signing, keeping really the top 8 in their rotation together. As Sam Hauser, 4 years, $45 million contract he agreed on to stay with the Celtics. This one kicks in at the start of the 2025-2026 season. So first, we got to talk about what everyone knows is looming for the Celtics. It's a team that, after winning an NBA championship and putting out one of the best rosters and cores we've ever seen on an NBA floor, you could say top 10 team historically in NBA history, they did what they were supposed to do. Ran through the regular season, ran through the postseason, and ran through who was the best team to come out of the West with teams with injuries, how hot they were in the Mavericks, on their way to an NBA championship and getting that 18th banner. When Sam Hauser's contract kicks in, the Celtics will have a $225 million payroll with a $210 million luxury tax penalty to pay on top of that. That $425 million they will pay just to put a team on the floor, it's projected, will be the highest in NBA history. That's what happens when you have 2 guys on Supermaxes, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. When you extended Derek White this last offseason, you extend Drew Holiday going back to last season. You still have Kristaps Porzingis on the books where you owe him $30 million this upcoming season. And like we said, you keep the top 8 intact. Peyton Pritchard's. Yes, Luke Cornet's. He played important minutes in the playoffs for them. Al Horford planning on returning for an age 38 season. And now Sam Hauser with this extension. Look, what you get with Sam Hauser is a 42% career three-point shooter. And out of guys in the NBA that have attempted 400 or more threes this last season, he ranks top 5 in field goal percentage from deep in the NBA. He was crucial to this Celtics championship run, especially in the finals, playing significant minutes. 15 minutes a night, and you're going to go, well, he only averaged 5 points a game. There were moments you had him out there on defense, matching up with Luka Doncic on the perimeter and keeping Luka in front of him. When you get a guy that supplies the shooting that you want for your system in Joe Mazzulla, the spacing for your 2 elite wings, like your playmaker and Jason Tatum, and your rim attacker, Jaylen Brown, who wasn't shooting well in the finals but still got finals MVP, you need guys like Sam Hauser on the floor. This shocked me. Because when Baylor Shireman was drafted in the first round by the Celtics, and I saw what was left on Sam Hauser's deal, I go, oh, that makes sense. Get Baylor Shireman up to Maine, let him learn the defensive system. Sam Hauser becomes a free agent. He walks. Shireman steps in. Sounds cutthroat, but that's a business, and that's roster construction when you have 2 Supermax guys. This extension, this shocked me. 4 years, $45 million for one of the best shooters in the game. And compare with Max Strus, who got paid but is making about $15 million a year, doesn't bring it defensively like Hauser does, isn't as quick to heat up and can be effective like Sam Hauser does. And it's important to keep your core and keep your culture together. This extension, what I was thinking, why not have Sam Hauser just play on the 1 year expiring deal and go and get paid, right? There's something there. The Celtics, what they're doing, they're showing buy-in. Now, again, this is Wick Grousbeck and Irv Grousbeck. That's the guy that really has a credit card in the funds. Keeping this core together, going all in on one more championship before they list their holds and their shares and sell it to an outside ownership group. We'll see who comes in on all this. But they won their one championship. The value has gone up. Yes, they're evaluated $4.7 billion. You win an NBA title, and reminder, folks, this is the Boston Celtics. This is one of 5 or 10 franchises in the world. I'm talking international in soccer, and then I'm talking all the major pro sports that we have. Hockey, NFL, MLB, NBA. The Celtics are one of a kind. That is a worldwide brand. That valuation goes from $4.7 billion to $5 to $6 billion. You repeat, fandom only grows more. And in today's day and age, it's not just about building out the fandom and what people love here in Boston or New England. Kids are growing up. They don't care for teams. They care for superstars. Tatum with his shoe deals. Jaylen Brown getting finals MVP and proving himself to be one of the best players in the league. Then you have the Drew Holidays, the Derek Whites, who are beloved. Keep building up the brand. You keep building up that younger fan base. Same thing we see the Patriots now. People are rabid. Because that was a franchise that was terrible. One of the worst in the league. 3 Super Bowls in the early 2000s, 3 Super Bowls in the late 2010s, and forget about it. Those are lifelong fans. That's what the Celtics are building up. The value goes up. The NBA value will go up. And Irv Grousbeck looks at Sam Hauser. He looks at Wick Grousbeck, and he goes, sure, pay him. It's not our worry after this one. This did shock me, this extension at this number, but you're getting a good defender, one of the best shooters in the league, and this is a guy that could go 0 for 5, 0 for 4, 0 for 5, 0 for 6, and then go on a tear the next few games. Not lose his confidence, not lose his shot, not lose his green light that he has, and step in and heat up. He's significant in the playoffs. He's significant in the regular season. 4 years, $45 million. It's about $12 million a year, a little less, right? A little less, a little more than $11 million a year. Huge number. This is Celtics saying we're running it back with our core 8. We extended Derek White after this one. We gave Jason Tatum Supermax no problem, which they were going to do. And then whatever billionaire, whatever powers that be that come in, I don't know if it's going to be a single person. I don't know if it'll be like a prince from Saudi Arabia with oil money. Whoever comes in and owns it, it'll be their problem and their credit card to pay off. Let's bring Tay back in. Ante, we did hold my banner right after the NBA draft.
Yeah.
And we both laid it out. The Shireman pick, that makes sense. Get the guys that fit your system. Joe Mazzulla. What Baylor Shireman did in Creighton, that's what Joe Mazzulla does in Boston. It's not the efficiency you hit the threes. It's just if we miss them, we miss them. It's how many threes you're going to shoot. We want to make 15 or more. That's what Baylor Shireman does. Mm-hmm. Defensively, very good. And 24 years old. He's coming in and he will take Hauser's spot. What did you make of this one, though? 4 years, $45 million. Because I scratch my head and go, I get it. You want to go all in to win another ring. But that tax, $210 million, you have to pay as a penalty because you're paying your team $225 million.
Yeah, it reminds me of a story. And while you were talking, I was thinking about how I want to divulge this story. But it's honestly just a story that I've seen before a lot in college basketball, right? When a coaching staff or whatever, coaching staff is a little different than like ownership now, in the NBA. But when the coaching staff in college basketball knows that they're going to be out at the end of the year, what do, George? They sit there and they spend all the money in the budget that they can spend. They get on every charter flight that they can spend, go to every nice restaurant with the players that they could go to, buy all the gear that they could give, and just absolutely purge the organization of the money and the funds that they have allocated to the team, right?
Yeah.
It makes sense. If we're gonna be out, might as well throw a party, right? It's like a going away party. And I think this ownership group is kind of doing the same. They have an opportunity to go back to back. They're the best team in the NBA, so they're like, hey, let's bring guys back for whatever. Like, it's a thing, right? Usually teams that win championships, other teams try to purge guys off of that roster by offering them more money. But when you have a situation like this and guys are getting offered a lot of money and they have an opportunity to win again, what options would you have but to stay? You're not going to sit up there and look at the other teams and be like, oh, well, I could get more minutes. A guy like Sam Hauser, great player. But in the wrong system, he could be a guy who's out the league, and he knows that.
Yeah.
The Celtics have built a roster around him, not around him, but around other guys, and he fits in super well to this roster where he's not asked to do much. He's asked to come in every once in a while, make 2 threes a game, play defense, which he does, and get out. You know what I mean? 18 minutes, 20 minutes maximum, you know what I'm saying? And really just be a star in his role. He goes to a team like Cleveland, who we're going to talk about in a little bit, or New York or something like that, who need more to get over the hump, right? And he's asked to do more, and now the 2 threes a game isn't enough. Now it's where are 4 or where are 5 threes a game? And, well, tonight you were 0 for 4. Get him out of Cleveland. Get him out of New York. It's not that kind of situation in Boston. He goes 0 for 4 in a game, and everyone's like, yeah, you know what I mean? It is what it is. And it's nice to play under, there's pressure playing in Boston, but, under that freedom where it's like, hey, all right, I didn't have it tonight. I get the opportunity. Missoula's going to throw me in the next night and look for me to do the same thing. And now the next night, maybe I go 4 for 5, and I'm looked at as this great white hope in Boston. So, it's a great opportunity for him to be here. And it kind of makes sense with what the ownership group has going on.
Quick, let's not act like Cleveland has the same media heat or scrutiny like New York and Boston.
Yeah,
in Cleveland, they go, we're happy he's here, man. We're putting out a team. We'll get to that. But I agree with what you're saying where you're getting $45 million. You're getting right between $11 and $12 million a year. Mm-hmm. You know exactly what you're walking into every day. And I'm talking ownership, coaching, culture. Obviously, roster you're walking into, and your role doesn't change. I compared him to Max Strus because that's a 3-and-D guy that was for the Heat. Got $15 million a year for the Cavaliers. Yep. Asked to do more, like you said. For Sam Hauser, this is a great deal. This is a dream deal. And people are going to go, well, he's leaving $3 to $4 million on the floor somewhere else. All right. Tay, real quick, yes or no? Or you can open on this one.
Okay.
I am your agent. You're Sam Hauser.
Yep.
All right, Sam. So Celtics want to bring you back for around $12 million a year, a little less. Mm-hmm. But if you go to Memphis, you could get $16 million a year. You want to do that?
No.
Okay. Can't go Minneapolis. You're actually good now. Portland, they really like the way you shoot. They just got Donovan Clingan. They just traded for the big guy from D.C. They got bigs. They need spacing. $17 million a year? You go to Portland, they're in a bit of a rebuild. But I'm telling you, dude, they've sucked for so long. But come on, what do you want to? You want to be in Boston and get another ring, or do you want to go to Portland?
No. I don't want to be Davis Bertans.
Exactly. You want to be in those primetime games. You can get a second ring. You can continue to build up this resume. And at his skill set, Sam Hauser is going to be in this league for the long time in the right situation, like you said.
Yep.
You look at that roster, and at any point, you will be on the floor with Tatum, Brown, White, or Holiday. Yep. And then you're the guy on the outside shooting. And they're the ones that are the leaders. Sam Hauser is just, you show up, you have fun, you ball, making around $12 million a year, and then we'll figure out what happens after 45. It makes sense for him to want to stay in Boston. I'm perplexed on what pushed it to this number, but it had to have been. Still, he had a year left. See, that's where I come back to. He wasn't a pending free agent.
Right.
It has to be for them to get ahead of a market.
Yep.
And they know the tough decisions that will be made. I understand Drew Holiday and the extension he signed when he got here. He's about to be 34, 35 years old. That's likely the first one to go where they're going to trade him. And that contract's not a complete albatross because it's less than $40 million a year, but it's a lot when you're going to be a repeater. That's what gets me with this is that the Celtics are going to be in the repeater penalty in that second apron where that $210 million tax penalty will go up and up. It won't be 210 because you're fielding the same salary.
Yep.
300 million, 350, 400 million. That's how it'll go. So that's what puzzles me is what happens on the Celtics side where they had to offer this extension when they have a guy like Baylor Sharman right there. And maybe, you know what? Maybe Sam Hauser was in their future. Maybe they look at Sharman, they go Peyton Pritchard, who just signed an extension. He's making around $6 million a year. Maybe that's the next guy in the move. What do you think there?
Yeah. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like Peyton Pritchard on the move. I think this team is going to try to stick together for as long as possible. I think Peyton Pritchard's contract in a couple of years might be one that makes sense to be traded. You know what I mean? When they're trying to look to get better after they probably have to move off of Porzingis too, in a couple of years. So I don't hate that. I don't hate that take. I think that it's a great take. Peyton's just meant so much to Boston. You know what I mean? But, I mean, I think it's I think having Sam here obviously just makes sense, too, because he's going to get another opportunity to play a lot of minutes this year, just because I think when you look at, like, the USA roster, obviously they have Jason Tatum. Mm-hmm. They don't have Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown. Don't get mad at me. They have Jason Tatum. They have Derek White. They have Drew Holiday. And they're playing a lot of basketball. You know what I mean? So these are guys who might need rest throughout the regular season, we might only see these guys for 60 games next year. So he's going to have opportunities to play and showcase what he can do. And then, maybe he does move on from the Celtics as well to get more opportunity to play somewhere else. So we'll see what happens. But it is kind of a little bit of a head scratcher, as you said.
Peyton is going to be important because we don't know what's going to happen with Porzingis. Mm-hmm. And the rotation will be in question. You said all those guys playing those added minutes. Payne Pritchard, Sam Hauser, those are guys who would be significant roles. And I wouldn't be, again, surprised if Baylor Shireman, a bigger guard, how significant his role will be because of the big question that looms around Kristaps Porzingis. Mm-hmm. All right, speaking of big extensions, you see your boy Evan Mobley, what he got?
Yeah, man.
The bag.
California kid. What did he get? 5 years, $224. Could be $269 million. He got that max rookie extension. I just wanted to know, what do you think of the Cavs offseason moves this year?
Okay, so just extended Evan Mobley. Darius Garland was already in a deal. I think he has 4 years left.
Yep.
Donovan Mitchell they extended, but he'll really be there the next 2 years, and there's a player option he can exercise.
Yep.
And they hired Kenny Atkinson.
Yep.
It's a fun thing we talk about around the office a ton. That Cleveland team is stuck. Now, I like this Mobley contract. High IQ, one of the best defensive bigs in the league. Yeah. Since he came in and was drafted, they've been top 7 in defensive rating every year and only gotten better. Never got worse than 7. Career high coming off shooting, averaging 16 and 9 a night, and he keeps growing, and I think he's an anchor they can have. Now, he was injured this past year, but he's an anchor they have. This Cleveland team, they're just stuck middling. They have this money to spend, and they're spending it because no one else is going there.
Right.
But it's the same roster. They upgraded in coaching, maybe because Donovan Mitchell will get along with Kenny Atkinson, and Atkinson has the experience. This is a team with a ceiling of Eastern Conference Finals semis. Maybe finals. Donovan Mitchell's a great player. Yeah. Evan Mobley's a great player. But I just think of the makeup. And we've seen Bridges going to New York and what the Sixers can do. I know. I put a pin in it with Joel Embiid. Yep. I think it's Eastern Conference Finals semis, and there's nothing the Cavs can do about it. And it sucks because the best thing for them to do is trade Donovan Mitchell, get worse, draft, and hope you hit on some rookie phenom, but they're never going to pick that high. They are 15th overall pick at most.
Yeah, I mean, LeBron's not going to save them this time. I think it's a terrible move. I'm with you. I think they should have offloaded everybody and just started over. It's NBA purgatory, as I like to say.
Yeah.
It's where you're good enough to contend for playoffs, obviously, be a playoff contender, whatever, but not actually good enough to win a championship. And basically, you just sit in this spot where, ownership probably likes it because they're making money, because they got people in the seats because you're making the playoffs every year and you're competitive. Yep. But, the fan base is starving for a championship. LeBron's got them the one. But that's not going to keep them fed for a long time. They're going to eventually be seeking more for a team and an organization that has always been a perennial playoff team, going back to the days where they used to rock the orange and blue, They always were a playoff team, but they were never enough to beat the Celtics. They were never enough to beat Michael Jordan. They were never enough to get over the hump in the East. And that's what this team is now. They're good enough to go meet up with this Celtics team again and to lose in 5.
At most.
Again. You know what I mean? It's only a matter of time before we start hearing, Donovan Mitchell doesn't like Garland. Garland wants out. Evan Mobley doesn't like his role. Blase, blase, blah.
Yes.
Kenny Atkinson isn't going to make a difference.
No.
I mean, it's a fresh voice, which is always great. They'll have that energy, the first couple of months of the season. I wouldn't even be shocked to say they probably come out and maybe have first place throughout the first month or two of the season. You know what I mean? In the East. But after that, you know what I'm saying? Who knows what's going to happen for them? So I'm going to roll with this is a bad offseason for the Cavs. I like their draft pick, though. Jalen Tyson, I think he's going to do well. I have no idea how many minutes they have.
Yeah, so when's his impact going to happen? Now? Next year?
Yeah, I mean, who knows? We'll see. Obviously, the summer league put the world on notice. He was lighting dudes up the last two games of the summer league, 22 points a game, I believe. I think he was 15 for 19 from the field in the last two games or something like that. Don't quote me, but I think it's around there. And he's been doing great. So they have another great wing when, Strus and those other guys are really not filling it up how they're supposed to. So we'll see what they do with that. But otherwise, I'm with you. I'm out on the Cavaliers offseason. I think it was kind of mid, to be honest.
I'm going to go, as I'm Googling here, real quick. Maybe they're just thinking years ahead, and we'll see with the second apron is real. Mm-hmm. That is a hard cap. Teams are avoiding it.
Yep.
They're playing the parity game. Keep the core intact. Keep Mobley here. Get a new coach. They start winning games and start winning playoff series. When the second apron kicks in, it can change. But the thing is, this Celtics team isn't going anywhere. This Knicks team isn't going anywhere. So if they're hoping for parity, I mean, that's a bad place to be. When in reality, like you said, they can ship everyone out, blow it up, restart, or maybe keep a core guy, like keep an Evan Mobley, but get rid of Mitchell and Garland.
Yeah.
Build around Mobley in a way you have a great big there and someone that holds a defense together, which is important in the playoffs. And then from there, when the second apron gets real and it blows up teams like the Knicks, it blows up teams like the Celtics, then you show up and go, all right, and now they get going. I just, like you said, it's mid. They're content.
Yeah.
They're making moves. They're content of where they are. And they just got to play the long game of hoping injuries happen and some magic goes down in the playoffs.
Yeah, very true. But all right, let's talk about some USA basketball. What did you think of that game against South Sudan? I know it had a lot of people sweating.
It did. It didn't have me sweating because end of the day, I'm like, A, it's not the Olympics. And
right.
B, it's Team USA. I think they can come back.
Mm-hmm.
Also, because you pointed it out, like you and me have talked about Spain. We've talked about France. We've talked about Canada, even Germany. Mm-hmm. But this South Sudan team, they're called the Bright Stars.
Yep.
And, I mean, they put the world on notice. You look at the guys that make up it. Carlick Jones, G League Player of the Year at one point. He's cut by the Bulls to save on the luxury tax. 15, 11, and 11 in this game.
Yep.
Mariel Shiak, drafted by the 76ers. Thor, 3 seasons with the Hornets. Wenyen Gabriel, played at Kentucky. Played with some of the guys he shared the floor with. Kaman Maliuk, 7-2, will play at Duke next year, and he's legit. This is a team, you said it, give you credit here. You go, man, this Sudan team's good. Check them out. Look up the roster. Go, that's a lot of good athletes. Their dribble penetration was giving a soft, up-the-middle Team USA a lot of trouble. Were ridiculous from three. Opened up 57% from the floor. I think they finished 42% from three. Team USA only hit a quarter of their shots from deep. But it was a dribble penetration, opening up a ton, going inside, having no trouble there. And they knew, coached by Luol Deng, how to attack this Team USA with a Joel Embiid that just looks bad. So I wasn't worried about the product of the whole. It was great to see LeBron drop 25, be all over that 23-5 run. Yeah. And I just think the sheer story of the South Sudan team is amazing. War-torn country, first time playing in the Olympics as a team, putting these guys together when they're matching up and they see a Bam Adebayo, when they see Jason Tatum, a Derek White on the floor, LeBron James, whoever, a Joel Embiid, they go, that's my constituent. That is a guy that's my peer. I've been on the floor with them. I can play them. Ultimate underdog of being hungry. I think Team USA needed to be woken up. It's good for them in the long run. I'm interested when they match up again in the Olympics. I think it was a great story for South Sudan, seeing some of these dudes put on. It did concern me of how soft, again, this USA team can be in the middle, and that's a reality of you went with Joel Embiid on this roster. Shoot, man. Looking at a kid like Evan Mobley, that's someone you can use. Someone in shape, someone that's versatile, and someone that can show up and play and contribute significant minutes for Team USA.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that I saw from the game that I really was disappointed about is Embiid having 0 blocks. It's been so long that everyone's just been making fun of him for not being a rim protector during this USA run. I'm tired of it, bro. Like, I think Curry was like, oh, he's the guy, him, Curry, Bron, they're going to start. Hold on. Curry and LeBron James are on a different level than he is. Embiid is just not in that same category. So to be like, oh, he's starting for sure, is just kind of crazy to say. Also, like, I think, like, it's just got to be something with Kerr and like playing the veterans and not really trusting the younger guys. Like, you got to trust the young guys. Like LeBron, he had a great game. Don't get me wrong. Really a great second half. The first half, he was the reason that they were down. To be honest, turning the ball over, he eventually figured it out, stopped trying to shoot the 3-ball, put his head down and went to the rim, which he's best at.
His whole career.
Right. And I mean, and it worked, you know what I mean? But I just think it's a lot of like, oh, like we're going to get off to this slow start. I hate seeing that. This is like their third slow start, you know what I mean, in 4 games that we watched them play. This is the reason that the USA team lost in FIBA last year. You know what I'm saying? So you can't say, oh, I'm bringing the Avengers and then come out with this lackadaisical effort. Bring the guys who you know want to bring it. If Embiid is going to come out trying to not guarding out to the 3-point line, trying to test dudes out, see if they can make the shot, it's a shorter 3-point line. These dudes are playing for their country. They're going to make the shot, dude. Get out there and guard them.
It reminds me of when we were talking about the whole Jaylen Brown combo. Kawhi Leonard leaves, they bring in Derek White. But if Kawhi Leonard left and Jaylen Brown joined this roster, they're a better team than they were before because it's now Kawhi, 2024 Kawhi. If Embiid left and Jaylen Brown came on, again, I think it's a better team. Difference in size, but it's a versatility. And to your point, Joel Embiid, if you're going to be soft in the middle, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
Because you don't need to be on the wing. You don't need to be outside. They have the talent. Dude, even looking at the list of the finalists, not a lot of pure bigs there.
Yep.
But a Walker Kessler, you bring him on. Can you defend? Can you protect the rim? Can you stop these dribble penetrations? This is a Joel Embiid that had to get surgery this season due to troubles with his knee. Again, always injured, and at his size, I get it.
Right.
But he's always had question of his stamina, of how in shape he is, right? Well, coming off of surgery, bad knee, we don't know what shape he's in. He looks terrible out there.
Yeah.
He's a liability. Tay, I ask you this. Even after watching that, you worried about this Team USA to get gold at all?
No, I'm not. I'm not. But the thing that does like make me upset, I will say, is like South Sudan should have won this game. It's not crazy to say. I mean, Carlick Jones gets to the rim, has a great look from 10 to 5 feet range floater, misses it, right? Okay, we live. Great shot. He missed it, right? Then on top of that, now they're not even getting – USA's not even getting the defensive rebound. They had a second chance on a tip-in, and they just smoked that as well. So, really, they gave the game away. USA should have lost it. You know what I mean? And I know everyone's proud of, like, what they accomplished and everything like that. But if I'm South Sudan, I'm pissed because we had a chance to take out a giant in our first game, like you said, as a country together. So, you know, it's just a little disappointing that – the USA came back. They were up big again, not big, but, you know, up 10 around there, and then still ended up giving up an opportunity to win the game. So it just seems like they're not focused. I understand the travel schedule is not great for them, but, you know, it is frustrating to know that this team doesn't look like the big bad wolf that they claim to be coming into this USA run. Yeah,
I think South Sudan had like 3 great looks in the last 25 seconds.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised they smoked all of them. It'd be a much different conversation we are than having now.
Yeah.
And there's going to go one of 2 ways when they re-meet.
Yep.
USA makes adjustments, beat them by 20. Or South Sudan, with this confidence, knows what to do, knows how to keep attacking, knows who to pressure on the defensive end, makes it a game, and maybe they close it out this time.
Yeah, maybe they do. But all right, let's talk WNBA All-Star Weekend.
Let's go.
What are some of the things that stood out for you from this weekend, man?
I loved seeing Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese playing on the same team against the Team USA, the All-Stars, bringing it to them, but above all, because – and you said it, again, last time I was on here, I talked about Caitlin Clark replacing Diana Taurasi.
Yep.
The one person that hasn't gotten enough love of not being on this team, on Team USA in the Olympics, is Arike Ogunbowale.
Yep.
The best scorer in the league, one of the best guards in the league, and absolutely torched him. 34 points all in the second half, and the way she was getting it, dribble pull up three, off screens, fade away, one-legged, off balance shot, just buckets.
Yeah.
Like, just how she was getting it done, how she flipped that switch and brought it to them. Everyone's going to walk away. I think it's the cool moment of seeing Caitlin Clark diming up Angel Reese. Clark finishing with 10 assists. See him do a little high five. I just love seeing that for, like, it's sick. There's a connection you make there. And we're going to see in 2028 when they're both on Team USA, them talking about that All-Star game, right? That All-Star game in Phoenix, it's where it began. Yeah, we want to kill each other when we match up, but we're excited for this opportunity. But Arike Ogunbowale displaying what she's been doing for the last few years since she came into the league, being a bucket, putting on the All-Star game, and to a WNBA All-Star team that brought it to Team USA.
Yeah, I loved all of that as well. Arike was definitely in my notes. Like, she really was balling out there, no question. Put the world on notice, and I love that. I love that we got an opportunity to see a name that we don't always see, you know what I mean, from the casuals. You know, I've been yelling out her name all year because I wanted to see her on USA, but I understand why they had Taurasi. The biggest takeaways that I had from that is that I saw Taurasi be a leader, and she really showed, like, hey, like, I know this sucks, but, you know, this puts us on notice. It makes us show us that we got to come and play hard every single time we have an opportunity. And she didn't let her team sulk in the fact that they lost to an amazing all WNBA team. And then on top of that, I love to see the jerseys. Dude, them switching jerseys at halftime. I was sitting there next to my friend, and I was like, yo, did they just switch jerseys at halftime? I was so confused by that, too. It was so dope, though. Like, I was like, this is – because I remember me and Travis, we showed off the jerseys on the on Hold My Banner here a couple episodes back, and I was just like, yo, like, I wonder, like, how they're going to do that, like, with the USA team. Are they going to wear one of the jerseys or not? And then I saw them come out with the USA wearing USA jerseys, so I was like, oh, so what are they going to do with the second jersey? And then they brought them out in the second half. I was like, yo, this is dope. I'm like, they should do this more often. And then on top of that, I absolutely love seeing Cheryl Miller out there getting the love that she deserves.
Legend.
Her coaching the team, WNBA, she was just all locked in. She gave a lot of great talking points. I know Arike talked about how she told her, like, hey, just breathe. You're one of the best players on the court right now. Just go out there and be yourself. She only took 2 shots in the first half. In the second half, you know, WNBA All-Star MVP. So Cheryl Miller was huge. I love seeing her out there. She's a GOAT.
I loved the shorts for the WNBA All-Star team. Now, they won 117-109. And it's cool you see they switched to the all-black uni in the second half. And that's when Arike turns it on. It's like she went Batman on. Right. You know? I think it's something unique. And I am one that is so happy to crap all over All-Star jerseys for any sport. WNBA jerseys clean, and they kept it with that core orange, which is a color of the league. But it was such a significant accent in that design. And it comes out to show you said it, the leadership from Taurasi. We needed this. We needed to get punched in the mouth. And you see these young, hungry players that were left off the roster, definitely deserving to be on it. I understand why DT's on it. I understand why Chelsea Gray's on it. I understand the first-time Olympians we see, like a Sabrina Ionescu and them. But them coming out and saying, all right, we got left off, and we're going to make you guys pay and show you why we should have been on that roster. Yeah,
100%. All right, George, it's your turn to play a game. Like you talked about at the beginning, we're going to play Win in 7, all right? So you get 7 questions to name an NBA player that I'm thinking of.
Okay.
And after the 7th question, you'll get a silhouette and a final guess, all right? So what is your first question, George?
I hate this, by the way. Current or former?
It is a former player.
Ooh. Okay.
Yep.
Now, is he remembered playing for a team in the East or a team in the West?
Ooh. Technically both. I'll give you that. Technically both.
Dude, that's an awful answer. That doesn't help.
Technically, he had a great career in both places. That is what I have to tell you.
Before or after 2010?
Before or after 2010? I would say his accomplishments, once again, are on both sides of the podium.
Did he play before or after? Was he drafted before or after 2000?
He was drafted after 2000.
After 2000, okay.
Yes, that is question number 4.
That doesn't help me. I'm not doing good here. Both, the fact that East or West was both, and then 2010 was both. I'm trying to take my notes and keep track.
Yep.
Bro.
The team that's in the, like, the Eastern Conference team was more recent. I will say that, if that helps a little bit.
Recent Eastern. Okay, I didn't ask a question.
Like
there,
the team
so
that
thanks
he
for
was known for playing for was, the Eastern Conference team was more recent than the Western Conference team.
Fifth question: front or backcourt player?
So he's a wing. He's a wing.
Dude, I'm so bad. So I got 2 questions left.
Mm-hmm.
Can I just ask a yes or no question?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Was he ever all pro?
All NBA?
Yeah.
Yeah, he had to have been.
Well, no. I need definitive.
He definitely was all NBA multiple times.
All NBA.
Yes.
Drafted after 2000. Was significant both ends of the 2010s.
Mm-hmm.
Could I have asked what year was he drafted?
Yeah, you can have.
I should have established rules. No. Because I can't. So I have 1 question left.
Yes.
Man, I'm doing bad. He was all NBA.
Mm-hmm.
None of this is helping. He's a former player, so he's retired.
Yep.
Most recent team who's significant was in the East, but he was good both ends of the 2010s. Drafted after 2000. He was a wing, all NBA.
Yep.
Doesn't narrow it down at all. So my 7th one has to be a good question.
Yep.
What's a question that breaks through for Trav? And he's terrible at trivia.
It just depends.
I don't like this.
He likes to like dwindle down. It's just like it's tough because this dude, like I said, has played for teams in both conferences. I would probably ask if this guy won a championship or not. Maybe
That's what I was thinking. I was going to
there.
go, what's his role, or if he won a championship? Which one would be the smartest question for me to ask? Now I'm asking for gimmies.
What's his role, or what's his champ? Whether he was a champion or not?
I asked position. You didn't help. All right. Did he win an NBA title?
No, he did not win an NBA title.
All right. Do I get the silhouette now?
So you get the silhouette now.
I'm going to be so bad at this. Let me see the silhouette. What the heck is this? I got to guess a player. Do I have to actually put a name out?
Yes. But I will tell you this. This player, I'm always topical with these things, right? This player has definitely you would have watched his games growing up.
Drafted after 2000. I would have watched his games growing up. Knicks or Nets. But played on both sides in the East or West. Never won a title. That makes sense if he played for the Knicks. He's a wing.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I asked the worst questions. I have no lead on this. It said drafting after 2000, but he's topical right now.
Mm-hmm. I can tell you this. He's not necessarily topical because of himself.
Played both ends, East and West. Both ends of the 2010s. No, it's not him. He's not topical because of him. So he's catching strays or something.
Not necessarily, but yes.
It's my 9th question. Like that. This is bad radio, what I'm doing. This is bad podcasting.
You got it. Come on. Give me a guess, George. You got it.
It's how broad that draft is. Me thinking of significant Knicks. Wait. No, because he was drafted after 2010. Now I'm locked in on a New York Knick.
Mm-hmm.
He's catching strays, though.
Not catching strays.
You
don't have to think about that. But he's topical, though. Someone related to him is doing a lot of great things right now.
Oh, God. My mind's going all over in pop culture now. Someone related to him is doing a lot of good things.
Yes.
East and West, drafted after 2000, all NBA, never won.
Come on, George.
Bro, I'm so bad at this.
You got it.
Someone related to him. Brother. He has a brother in the NBA, and I can't use Google on this one because I need to look at faces, rosters. I'm sweating. You got me sweating.
I'm going to give you a countdown, man.
Dude,
Just name a name. 10, 9, 8, 7.
With a brother in the
6.
NBA.
Don't land on that. 5.
Yeah, I know. I'm thinking.
4.
Someone in the NBA.
3.
No, that's not a name. I
2.
give up. I can't give up, though.
Just give me a name.
No, I don't have one.
Name a New York Knick.
All my Knicks that are coming to my head are, this is not going to work. Yeah, after 2000, but played on both ends of 2010. Played in the East and West. I'm trying to go early Knicks, and I can't think of any.
Not early Knicks.
Carmelo Anthony.
There you go.
That was it?
Let's go. Let's go. Finally. Jesus Christ.
Dude, because I'm thinking of like a dad or a brother. It was Kai and Anthony the whole time.
Kai and Anthony has been hooping, man.
Dude, what a Hail Mary.
I had to show some love
Oh, my God.
to Carmelo, his dad.
That was the most, like, I have not
You were stressed.
felt stressed like that in a long time.
You were stressed.
But what buzzer beater.
All right, so let's talk about the team that he used to play for, the Denver Nuggets, obviously acquiring Russell Westbrook over the weekend. What do you think of this? Do you think this makes the Nuggets, back to the best team in the West, or what are you thinking about this move?
I love that move by Russell Westbrook. You get veteran leadership. You get a guy that's won or been close to winning. Still brings it defensively. Isn't great at shooting, but you could put him in that dunker spot and really mess with the matchups you'll see in the playoffs and throughout. And this is a humbled Brody. This is not an OKC Brody. This is not a Houston Brody. This is a guy that wants to get a ring, was close at being there with Los Angeles, didn't work out. Was close in being there with the Clippers and didn't work out, but stuff that's outside of his power. I give them, they're still the best team in the West, and it's because of Nikola Jokic. And they had a big hole to replace with KCP leaving, but he doesn't provide the shooting that Kentavious Caldwell-Pope does.
Yeah.
I'm still between the T-Wolves because I think a year of getting close and Anthony Edwards learning what it takes to have his legs under him come playoffs pushes them to be great. And OKC, I like what they did too, addressing their needs defensively and needs in shooting. But I still put them as top in the West. Russ fills a great hole. It's not like he pushed them over the top to put them back to number one. It's all Jokic. But I like this ad. What about you?
I like the ad. I don't know if this makes them the best team in the West again. I feel like the Nuggets have fallen off. And it's because of what you said. Their offseason wasn't great. They lost KCP. They also lost Reggie Jackson, who was a huge part of their team as well. And all they brought back in was Dario and Westbrook. You know what I mean? So I don't really like the moves that they're kind of making. When you look at their roster now, they're going to start Jamal Murray. Christian Braun is going to start now. Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon, and Nikola Jokic. When I look at their bench, off the bench is going to be Westbrook, maybe Strawthard. I didn't really see him last year. Peyton Watson, Dario Saric, Zeke Naji, and Justin Holiday. That doesn't really look like a championship team to me anymore. So I think the Nuggets really have some inside looking to do. Because I think they're just like a 5 seed, honestly, in the West now.
Wow. You think of what it's going to be because who's in front of them? OKC, you have Denver. The fall off of the Clippers is so real for me, though.
Yeah.
But Dallas still going to get better, and so you'd think.
You think.
With them upgrading as well. I don't sleep on Clay. I know he's not the same Clay, but I don't sleep on him and being in Dallas. And we're talking about roles when it's reduced, what it can do for someone, or if it's pushed over the top. What can help as well. And then think of a team like the Suns. We'll see if they get it right. Pelicans too, even the Kings if they can be healthy.
Yeah.
To have them drop to the 5 spot is a lot.
Well,
and I think it's how Jokic can control a game, but they've lost a lot.
Yeah.
And this goes back to Bruce Brown leaving in free agency, and they're still paying that price now with the KCP going.
Well, yeah, I also just love what Memphis has done. They're going to be healthy again. You have to think they're going to have Ja back. They're going to have Marcus Smart back. You know what I mean? Adding Edey. I think they had a great offseason. You got to look at Minnesota. No, excuse me, not Minnesota. Sacramento, who you said obviously adding DeRozan is going to be big for them. And then New Orleans, obviously adding DeJounte Murray is going to be a big deal for them. We want to see what happens with Brandon Ingram. But I think those teams can move up. So it's kind of, Denver getting worse, those teams getting better. It might be a bad situation for them.
And it starts with what was the gap between Denver and those teams. And it was significant, but it's gotten so much smaller. And as we see in the playoffs, if you bring size, if you bring a fight to them and can shoot, then, it's for anyone in the NBA. We see how mortal Denver looks. Yeah. Tay, as always, it was an honor I'll hold my banner with you. I hate you for that win in 7, even though I got it.
Yep.
Bro, being put in that high-pressure situation. I know there are people driving their cars or watching on YouTube yelling at the TV. Say name, idiot! The countdown worked.
Yeah,
but I beat the buzzer.
You did. You did beat the buzzer. You definitely beat the buzzer.
That's like Mellow Easter Sunday. I remember. I think it was against your Lakers. He had a big buzzer beater.
Yeah.
2010, I want to say something like that.
Was that the orange jerseys?
Yes.
Ew.
And he stood on the table, was like, this is my city. Ted, as always, great bringing a Hold My Banner with you. Always good hosting it with you. Wherever you get this podcast, please like, subscribe, rate, review. Make sure to tune in every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. This is when the new episodes drop. We appreciate you guys listening. We'll see you next time. I'll Hold My Banner.